guys, welcome back to another night live, y'all. Right now, I'm just laying down in bed right now because my head is it's just been killing me like crazy. And so, anyway, yeah. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm glad that you joined. Y'all, as people start coming in, please be aware to be mindful and respectful. And especially for tonight, really. Because, I really don't want to have to get onto somebody if I don't have to. Especially since I've got a really bad headache and it's, I don't really feel 100%. And so, hey Logan, how are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Since you're in the chat. But yeah, what I do with you guys. Yeah. Hopefully you've been good. But I'm glad to see you joined. Y'all really excuse me looking a little bit crazy. That's just the fact of just, not feeling like I should be. And so, but yeah. And so, and y'all, it's Lily and Monday, just for crying out loud. And so, yeah. Y'all, hopefully, knock on wood, I'm not having to get on to people just for the average. Hang on. Yeah, we have 5 people in the chat. Jimmy, welcome in the chat. We have 8 people in this chat now, y'all. What is happening? To answer your question, my day's been going pretty good until a little bit ago, but yeah. I can't believe we have 8 people in this chat right now. 16, wow. Hey there, welcome. Yo, the numbers are gonna probably drop again. And all that stuff. But yeah. And so, yeah. And so, man, we have 10 people in here. Man, I cannot read that language. Age. Hey, Marcus. 19. What's going on? Nothing too crazy. I'm just laying in bed and stuff just because, it's just, it's typical. And so, yeah, we have 5 people in the chat. I agree. Yeah. I mean, so life. Ah, we have 3 people in here though. I'm sorry you're hearing little craziness in the background. That's just my brother. But, the real deal, you got that right. I'm not gonna lie. Hang on. Oh, they're welcome in the chat. Oh, thank goodness we got them all in this chat. Here we go. How are you doing? But yeah. Yo, thank you for not starting off the live being very crazy. I'm thankful for that. And let's see if we can keep it like that, which would be great. And so, yeah. But yeah. So, y'all, make sure you guys are hitting the like button as you are coming in the live, because we only have one person doing that right now, and we need to continue, not yet, thankfully, and let's hope it stays that way. Right now it's been pretty stable, which I'm thankful of, because I don't want to try to put up with somebody today just because for a little while I've just not been at the 100% mark. And so my own gut does not want to put up with people like that. And so, yeah. Anyway. Feels so good. But yeah. So. Oh, it feels so good. Alright, we have 2 people in the chat. But yeah, nothing really too crazy yet. So y'all, fingers crossed that life still continues to be stable. Because, if somebody just speaks too soon about that, then I will literally be going insane, because I am already dealing with a headache of mine, and I don't want to push it further than where it's at. Because, living with my disability, it's not easy half the time. Especially when it's medication side effect related. Especially when you do take them. But, yeah. And so, it's not the perk. And so, yeah. Alright, we have 2 people here in the chat. And like I said, we only have one of y'all hitting that button. So, yeah. And so, oh, we have 3 people in here. Yeah. And so, but y'all can ask questions in the comments, you guys. Just don't say anything inappropriate. Is all I do ask of people. But you know, some people do good about that, but there's some that they just don't know what they're doing. And so, yeah. And so, anyway. Give me just a minute. Alright. Alright, y'all. So, we have 2 people in the chat. Yeah. Oh, we have 4. And so, yeah. And so, yeah. So, and y'all, sorry I'm not super, sorry I'm not really fully, there at the moment. It's just that I've just been dealing with a headache for over half of the evening. I've just been dealing with the headache for a couple hours, but I've been dealing with it at some point today, and then it stopped, and then all of a sudden it's coming back again. It's very irritating. But yeah. But Metal Sonic, welcome in the chat. Which I did see you when you just popped in. I just was finishing my sentence at the time. Oh, we have 6 of y'all in the chat. Oh my gosh. Y'all, let's see if we can keep bumping the numbers to go up, not down. Because a lot of times it will go up, but then it will go the other way. See? We just dropped a little bit. And so, you know. But yeah. And so, And so, anyway, but yeah, for people who are coming in, make sure you guys are reading the pinned comment that is up in here, because whenever I pin a comment in my lives, that will be usually with important information that has to do with the live stream purposes. And so, just to let some of you know that, and so, yeah, but y'all, thank you so much for not making me go crazy yet, because, I don't want to do that at like 10 o'clock at night, especially since tonight with me, it's literally another one of my, since tonight I'm starting to have another one of my things with my disability, and it's just driving me nuts. And so, yeah. But yeah. I have epilepsy. To answer your question. And so, yeah. We have 3 people in the chat. And so, but yeah, epilepsy is a neurobrain disorder where all of the, where the electrical system in the brain starts to malfunction. So I've told people on here kind of an example of what that is. So if you don't really get it that well, and if you're trying to think about analogy of it, think about imagine if you're trying to fix the wiring in like a light switch, and all the stuff that has a lot of the wirement stuff to connect things to make it work. And it's got those certain wires that have to be a certain way in order for it to properly function. That's kind of like what epilepsy is you're trying to put the wiring in the right spots. But sometimes what happens with people with epilepsy in the brain will try to do that exact step, but sometimes that wire in the brain can malfunction to where it will cause someone with epilepsy, like myself, to have seizures. And so, and even people with cerebral palsy is the same thing too, because it almost relates to the same thing, because it's also a seizure disability. And so, yeah, but that's like the best analogy you can think about when it comes to that. And so, it's almost like an example. Hang on. The heck? Hang on, y'all. Sorry about that. I was just hearing something across the hallway. But yeah. And so, and I will tell you this. sometimes some people with epilepsy, um, so for reference, a lot of us with epilepsy have to be on medication in order to stop our seizures from getting aggressive and them just progressing to be worse as you get older and stuff. Not all medications have this, but some do. And some medications that you might be on might have a couple of side effects which are dizziness, also known as dizzy spells, which is an episode where you're not doing anything or anything, but it's where if you're just chilling, hanging out, and all of a sudden you start to feel dizzy out of nowhere without no warning. That's kind of like what it's like. And then you can also experience crazy, intense, almost intense, but like just kind of typical headaches and stuff. But that's just because it's the medication doing its course. And so tonight for me, it's another one of my nights again. But hey there, how are you doing? Hang on, let me take my other pill quick. So give me a minute. Man. And so, yeah. But yeah, and so it's just what you gotta put up with half of the time. But yeah. But yeah. And so, hey there. Oh my God, I'm so bad. How are you doing there, Bradley? Hopefully you're doing good. Oh my gosh, man, it's so bad, y'all. And so, I'm not too great. I wish I could say I was doing good myself, but just putting up with typical me. Why? Well, a little bit ago, I just started getting another intense kind of intense headache, but it's just the fact of my epilepsy and stuff. Um, and I don't like it, but it's, you know, it's a thing I live with, and it's nothing really new. But it's just side effects of my medication I'm on to help me from not having seizures oftenly. And yeah. Anna, welcome back. The bros, welcome in the chat. I wish. I wish I was having a good night, but not really to answer that. But Anna, how are you doing? Yes, Anna, I remember you. You came in yesterday, from what I remember. See, some people I can remember pretty good, but some will take me a minute. And so, hey, what am I doing? I'm just sitting in bed. Yeah. It's okay. Y'all, people that have to put up with headaches, but for some people who have epilepsy like me, that's a lot worse. It's basically worse than what a typical person would have. Because, Fancy, to answer your question, not really. I'm not sad, okay. Fancy, it's not because I'm sad or anything, it's just, I've just been putting up with a really bad headache for a couple hours. But I did, though, take some Motrin for it. So this med should start hopefully kicking in soon. And for me it's just a disability thing though with me, because it's just due to medication side effects and stuff that just drive me nuts. Yeah, I took a Motrin like an hour ago or two, like probably 2 hours ago and stuff. And usually I find Motrin helping quick half of the time. Excuse me. But yeah. And that's kind of why I'm not like super like crazy like I usually would be. That's why my like talking with you guys is like kind of in the lower numbers. But that's just kind of what you have to deal with. So all you just have to really do with yourself is just to relax and stuff and just not get ahead of yourself. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. You take care as well. And so, yeah. Yeah, I was laying down for like a little bit earlier before I started checking in with some of you guys beforehand. Because, and y'all, for some people that were literally wondering why I was not on here at 6:30, it was because around 7, one of my TV shows was on, and usually I'm live from like 6:30 till like almost like 7:40 and stuff. Hi Duckling, welcome back. How are you doing? My gosh, I hate my life so bad. But yeah. And so yeah. And so yeah. 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 I agree. Headaches are very irritating. It's especially really irritating for people with epilepsy like myself. Because some people who have epilepsy, it's a lot worse. Like for them, it feels a little bit worse than a typical person that doesn't have any medical issues, like whatsoever. And so, yeah. Okay, so to tell you, kind of to break it down, epilepsy is a narrow brain disorder where, okay, here's an example of what it is. So, okay, y'all, imagine if you are trying to fix a light switch. Like, imagine if you're trying to fix all the wiring and electrical stuff in the light switch, right? Epilepsy is kind of like that, but in the brain. So what happens is in the brain has the electrical system in your brain. So kind of like that example, it's like a wire. So normally when you have all the wiring put together, normally it works off the bat, right? In the brain though, with epilepsy, you have it in the right spot, but sometimes it can malfunction, meaning it's one to glitch in the brain, causing people like myself to have seizures. And usually seizures like this kind of last anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes or even more, just depending on how bad it is. And sometimes in some seizure instances, sometimes you're gonna have to use like certain medications that, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's bad because, and let me just say, so for reference, something I also have what they would call a diastat, and it's a rescue medication. It's like a medical sort of deal. Yes, seizures are very horrible. I agree. Because, and actually, I will tell you a story time. So, Fantasy Globe, I will tell you this. Here's a seizure story I will tell you, though, that happened like almost 3 to 4 years ago. Hang on. I'm so sorry, but alright, Anna. I will see you around. Alright. I'll see you out there. Dragon's Den, welcome in the chat. And so, yes, like I was just saying, so this story happens, alright, cool. But yeah, I'll tell everybody the story time though. So, this story time happened to me when I was a sophomore in high school. And it was one typical school day in the spring. And I was in my third period. I was in my third period class at the time, which I was in high school at the time. I was just waiting for the bell, the last final bell to go off for class to start, right? Well, Hydra, welcome in the chat. Well, all of a sudden, I could not hear that bell go off. Like, it's almost as if the way I couldn't hear it was like if you were to pass out or something, but not really directly pass out. And so, so at one point, I don't know what time it really started, but, and so I was in class all of a sudden at some point in that time frame, I started having an epileptic seizure in class where my ex-boyfriend plus my right now boyfriend were in with me at the time, and even all my friends as well witnessed. And so then my teacher had everybody go to another room. She was able to grab everyone else and put them in a empty room-ish for now until I could be out of the room and all that stuff situated. And so I ended up having a seizure literally for like 4 minutes. And so, how was your weekend? My weekend was good. But yeah. And so, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it was crazy. And so, yeah. But I mean, y'all, it was crazy because I didn't even remember really much about it. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah. Yeah. So we have 2 people in the chat. I swear, it's crazy. Kiki, oh my gosh, it's been a while since you joined. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. That is crazy. What's wrong? Well, Kiki, I am just having another one of my typical side effects with my epilepsy and like earlier, like about an hour, not really an hour ago, like maybe a couple hours ago, I noticed that my head started killing me, started hurting me again. And so, yeah, and so it was funny was it was like, here's what's crazy. This is like the second headache I've had today, off the bat. And so, yeah. Yep, we have 6 people in the chat. And so, yeah. Like, it was like late, I think it was like almost late morning going into the afternoon hours was the first one, and then a couple hours ago was the second, and Eva took Motrin for both of those hours. But, yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Kiki. I very appreciate it. But yeah, y'all, let me just tell you this. This just goes to show you guys that a lot of times you'll see a bright personality me in streams, but what y'all don't know is behind the camera, half of the time, that's not always the case. Sometimes. You know? And sometimes I even do show you guys the actual slight behind the scenes of what actually goes on. Sometimes. But, yeah. I do hate it, but hang on, I'm actually gonna turn my fan on real quick. Ugh, I gotta get it for a second. But yeah, so. Sorry, I was turning my fan on because I was starting to feel a little hot for a second. But yeah. So, yeah, but, excuse me. And so, but yeah, it's just a typical side effect with epilepsy, y'all. It ain't easy. I'll just tell you this. What I kind of have to put up with is not always easy. I will tell you all that. So if you're thinking in your head that your personality makes you think that doesn't happen to you, well, you're wrong. We all go through something during our life. And with me, sometimes one of my things I go through some occasions are my side effects with epilepsy, you know? Like, for reference, y'all, usually the side effects I get are really bad headaches, or I get dizzy spells, which are usually, like, dizzy spells is when I get dizzy just without knowing it. Like, an example of this, you guys, is, let's say I'm just doing whatever. Like, I'm just relaxing, or I'm just relaxing or something. And next thing I know, I literally see half of everything in the room turning on its own. That's kind of like what dizzy spells are with me. But then with headaches, it's like, I mean, y'all, all of us get headaches, but I'll tell you this. People with epilepsy and headaches, for them, whenever they get a headache like that, or just an neurotypical, it will kind of feel a little bit different. Like, it'll kind of feel like a slight more worse than what a typical person would experience, you know? And y'all, I'm thankful I know most of my reasons why I do get constant headaches, though. And actually, y'all, one of my friends in high school that I met in high school last year, She also has epilepsy and deals with the same things. And so, even I know from experience. Cool, welcome back, Alex. How are you doing? And so, yeah. Anyway. Oh, okay. Cool. Hopefully school goes well for you, Alex. But I'm glad that you stopped by to say hey. That's very sweet. But yeah. And so, but yeah, y'all, I mean, like I said, some people can look at me and literally think that, oh, why, how do you stay so positive 24/7? When, yes, I do. Yes, I am positive 24/7. But for some people, they don't realize not all the time, but y'all don't know, sometimes the physical side of me is half of it. Like, there are times where I'll get this exact sensation a lot. Like, I will start getting one of my side effects, and it will just not make me feel 100%, but also it won't make me feel not in a good way either, because, when, y'all, I mean, a lot of people are the same way too, even when they get a headache as well, because when we get headaches, oof, for us, it just drives us nuts. It just drives us crazy. And even people with epilepsy, it does the same thing with them, but just makes them feel a smidget, like, that much worse than what a typical person would feel. But yeah. Man. Hang on, y'all. Let me put you over here while I fill something out real quick. Oh, 4:30. Sorry, y'all. I was putting down tomorrow's day and date down, and then tomorrow's to-do list, so that way that's up there. Because like I've told some of you guys, I usually do that the night before, so that way in the morning I'm not having to do that when I first get up. Sorry, y'all. But yeah. And so, it's just, think about it. That's one less thing for me to do in the morning. And so, oh, it's so bad. But yeah. right there. And I'm just gonna fix my pillows again because they're a little bit crooked. And so, yeah. Oh. And so, anyway, excuse me.